Welcome to Death and Aliens, an in-depth look at horror and sci-fi TV from two friends who vaguely know what they're doing. I'm MK,
And I'm Courtney.
and I am writing not just the struggle boss, but probably like the struggle like Hummer limousine today. Like that's where I'm at
At
because
least
my
you're fancy.
my computer just is not working correctly, so I apologize ahead of time for all of the sound and picture not matching up that's about to happen right now. Um, I had a really bad dream that my boyfriend dumped me last night, even though that's definitely not going to happen because we were talking about songs for our wedding playlist yesterday, but like still makes me feel like I want to die. And I start school on Tuesday and my classroom is not finished and I have absolutely nothing prepared.
All right. It's going to be great.
How are you?
Well, I'm a brand new person. You would not even recognize me. I have been working out. Um, like today was day 5 of working out, which is so many because I haven't worked out in ages. I've been doing yoga. I did this walking exercise yesterday, like power walking. I've done some strength exercises. Oh my gosh, everything's echoing now on my end. Um, but with my insurance, I get the Peloton app for free for it said a year, but I think I get another year now. Um, when this one's finished. And so they have like Disney strength workout. And let me tell you, Moana is mean. Like you go rowing in a canoe, but you have to like hold up with your abs like while you're doing it so your core. Oh my gosh. I've thank God I did yoga today because my whole body was falling apart. Um but I did. I got up this morning and at 8:30 I made it to my online live yoga class and and then I went and got all my fall stuff from Starbucks. I got my pumpkin cold brew, I got a pumpkin scone. I'm just thriving, dude. Just today, but I'm thriving today.
Just today.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Courtney and I had a weird schedule this week. So it's actually been like almost 2 full weeks since we've recorded. And I don't even know what to share about my life because it's been so long.
I wrote it down. I wrote down my next 4 episodes of what I'm starting with. So
Oh
I
my God.
cannot forget anything about my life.
Fantastic. Let's see, like what did I do last week? I don't even remember what last week was.
Week before you went back to work.
Oh, it was the wedding was last week.
Oh yeah, that was last week.
One of my best friends got married and we went to the wedding and it was so lovely. Um, the priest played the flute during the ceremony. Like he was speaking and then he just like stopped speaking and got out a flute and played meditation music.
All right. That's
It,
a choice.
it was amazing. I went to the bride and groom and I was like my favorite part of the whole wedding was watching you guys try not to break and just like because and Dave the groom he looked at me he goes I literally we had no idea that that was happening none it was I didn't know what to do. So now Dan keeps threatening me that there will be a flute playing priest at our wedding.
There's nothing I want more. I would die. I will not keep it together. I will guarantee you there is not a part
You
of me that will keep it together.
and you have to because you'll be up there. Like, what are you supposed to do?
I will just die. I will just die laughing, and the priest will glare at me. And I will formally
But then
remind him
you
I'm not Catholic, so it's okay.
but then you'll be laughing, and so Monica will be laughing, and then I'll be laughing, and then Dan's mother will be glaring at me like I'm the devil.
Look, things happen. Flutes, when priests play flutes, things happen. I don't know.
But the wedding but it was beautiful, and she looked beautiful, and I looked beautiful, and everything was beautiful.
You did look beautiful.
Um, and Dan looked great, and I'm happy.
Yeah, it's so nice.
All right, what are you sharing from the last 18 weeks of your life that we
That
haven't
was it. My
recorded?
Peloton update.
Oh, that was your Peloton update, was your sharing today.
I've been doing. I can elaborate if you'd like.
No, 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 no. Because you were like, I wrote everything down, and so I thought you
I
were gonna like
did.
tell me
No,
what happened 2 weeks
I
ago.
wrote down Peloton for today. I've been working out on my lunch break at work because we all know how many hours I have in a day available. Um, so I've been breaking it down in the music library
I
and
love that.
working out, and it's been lovely. It's changing my whole life. I did
I
forget
love
to eat
that.
one day before I worked out. I was doing a strength workout and I almost passed out, but it's fine. I did. I
I
was just really
usually
shaky while I
forget
was like,
to. Yeah, no, that week that I went to the gym every day and was like really on top of it, which I will do again once I don't have family in town. Um, I didn't eat before the gym ever, so that was never good.
yeah,
And like sometimes I just don't eat at work, period. Like yesterday, Dan brought me lunch and he was like, it's really good that like we're both okay with like late lunches because like I couldn't get here till today this time. And I go, I'm gonna be real with you. If you hadn't called and told me you were bringing food, I wouldn't have eaten lunch. I didn't eat yesterday or the day before. And he was like, but he doesn't work at my school anymore because that's the other big update that I knew I had something emotional. My lovely boyfriend got a new job. It is very,
congrats.
it's a very good job. It is a great step in his career. I am very proud of him and very happy. And let me tell you how difficult it was the day I found out that he was leaving. Um, no, and by now, like at this point, I've processed it all and it's okay. And I've met his replacement, the new social studies teacher at our school, who is a infant. This man is like 21 years old.
Oh,
He
bless.
is a baby. And but so Dan will no longer be at work to force me to eat lunch.
Well, we'll have to call up Teresa and make sure someone feeds you.
Yeah. Oops. Um, yeah. But what else we can do to make my life better is feeding, but also spirituality. That's the way to go.
It is the way to go. So today, this applies to both of us. I think we both believe this already. Know your worth, then add tax. Yes.
Yes.
Hmm. I know. Sweet and simple.
Yes. I mean,
Are you frozen?
no, it's probably the screen is frozen, but also I was just thinking. Um, no, Becca Tilley and Tanya Rad on their podcast, they had this thing that they were saying a couple years ago that I like. She was like, I will no longer be giving discounts, like about herself. And
Yeah.
I was like, yes. And so, but no, not just am I not giving discounts, I'm adding tax.
Yes. Exactly.
I love it. I love it.
You're just making up for the discounts in the past.
Well, unfortunately. Um, we are really here to celebrate Sci-Fi Sunday.
Which we love.
Today,
Which it almost is.
it almost is. Today, I was going to say today, while we were recording this, it is Monica's birthday.
Happy
Um,
birthday, Monica.
tomorrow, when we are putting this out, it is her brother's birthday.
Happy birthday, Monica's brother that I don't know.
His name's DJ.
DJ. Oh, I've heard of him, yes.
Yeah. It's also Adri, whose wedding I went to last week. It's her birthday also.
Okay, I can only tell so many people have birthday. We only get so many shout outs a week.
Oh, and I think it's also David, my future brother-in-law's birthday.
No, no more. No more. That's
I
it.
know David. I know David's birthday is this weekend. I don't know if it is tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow.
No, I'm done.
Yeah,
Mom kids
everybody's
again. That's
birthdays on
it.
this is gonna be a rough weekend for me in my adult life.
Yeah, when you get there in your adult life.
Anyway, for Sci-Fi Sunday, we are talking about Stargate SG-1, as we will be for the rest of our adult lives.
Yes,
Um,
every Monday for the rest of our lives, as MK put it in her schedule.
um, we're on season 2, episode 3. It is called Prisoners, and it was rated 7.3 stars, which I was like, when I wrote it down, I go, I feel like that's really low. But then I watched it and I go, that's all right.
I feel like maybe like 7.5, 7.6. Like I feel like we got important stuff. I don't know because I don't know where we're going moving forward, but it feels like we got important stuff, you know.
Yeah,
So, and it made sense. It wasn't like I was like, I don't know what's happening. So
that's
like I
fair.
would go 7.5, 7.6. It wasn't like top notch, but it was that's outside my house.
Oh, I was like, I don't think that's outside my house, but
That's
it's
not
not.
it's not
Okay.
my house.
Um, yeah, no, it just I didn't hate it. I just didn't like that we were like on such a roll with the old stuff and then we just like weren't
A
again.
real sharp turn, yeah. No, I
Yeah.
agree with that.
Um, but it
Do you
came out.
happen to know if this release order is the same as the DVD order for the second season?
I believe it is. I can double check.
Because I
But
wonder if they were like, oh, this didn't make sense. So we put this in a different order. Because I feel like they did just kind of throw this episode in because they were like, oh, this is important. Here, you need this too.
um, I sorry, I have a website that tells me the DVD order versus the other
Excellent. That
order.
is an excellent website to keep up with.
No, it is in fact correct. Yeah. Yep, it's correct. They only changed season 1.
Excellent. Okay, so this was just a choice they made
Correct.
and held
Yeah.
really tight too. Got it.
It came out on July 10th, 1998. The number one song is the same song. It's A Boy Is Mine by Brandy and Monica. The number one movie is Armageddon.
You know, never saw Armageddon. I know I probably should have by now, but
Armageddon is not a great movie in the sense that it's a great movie. It's a great movie because it made me feel things, but primarily the thing that made me feel the most was sheer discomfort in the sense that in Ben Affleck and Liv Tyler's beautiful, beautiful farewell romping in the grass picnic scene, the song that plays in the background is Aerosmith's Don't Want to Miss a Thing. And I, to this day, cannot get over the idea of rolling around in the grass, making out with someone while my dad sings about waking up next to me in the background. Like that is the level of discomfort that I have. Oh, that's why this movie has always sat with me. No reason other than that moment.
that makes sense. It would make me very uncomfortable. Yep.
And that's coming from me who would in fact sleep with Steven Tyler.
Yeah.
So
Goodness
I'm
gracious.
gonna
Yeah, you are not putting a highlight on that movie for me. I think I'm okay skipping that one.
It's actually a really decent movie. It's not a bad movie at all, but I know you well enough to know that you would have the same reaction to that as I did and not let go of it at all.
Yeah, I don't need that in my life. So,
Um, I struggled really hard to find something to talk about for the date because every time that I like looked up the date, the only news articles I could find were about like horrible Catholic priests and scandals
mhm,
and like things like that.
right.
But then I just kept digging because I was in a wormhole and I also had my dad digging for information too. And
It's
I found out a story that I vaguely knew, but I didn't know the details of. So then I just continued. Have you ever heard of the Kamaya Mobley abduction?
it sounds vaguely familiar.
So on July 10th, 1998, a little baby who was 8 hours old at a hospital got yanked.
Yep, I've heard this.
And then in 2017, at 19 years old, she was discovered living in South Carolina with her abductor. And the DNA test was just like, oh, yeah, by the way, not your mom.
I did hear about this. I think I heard about it in 2017 when it
Yeah.
like came out. Yeah.
And then they made a Lifetime movie about it, and Niecy Nash played Gloria, the woman who abducted her. Um,
There's a
and it
new
just went down this rabbit hole because like she got kidnapped at 8 hours old. So 8 hours, you have no concept. And like her abductor like just raised her like a kid. Like it wasn't like a creepy abusive situation. This lady just like took her and then like kept her and raised her as a kid. I mean, obviously it's still not okay, but
right.
it wasn't like a weird change in the basement. It was just like, you're my kid now. And
I'm
then
so
at 19,
so
how do you even process at 19 that that is your life?
I wouldn't.
I don't know like what her feelings. I like didn't watch the movie. I don't didn't go into like what her feelings on her abductor slash not real mother are. But man, that is a story I can't wait to like get deeper into
But
in my
yeah,
podcast. Like I haven't, I none of my podcasts have covered that yet, but I'm sure they will.
I feel like I've heard that one.
Yeah. So I mean, none of the ones, all the ones I listen to, I'm so far behind
In
that
like
like,
2011 that you're listening to.
I'm in 2014 right now, thanks.
Well, they probably didn't cover this in 2014 because it came out in 2017.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
with 3 years.
Um, so yeah, so that's July 10th. The director of this episode is David Wary Smith again. The writer is new. His name is Terry Curtis Fox, and he was a senior advisor for the writing staff on other episodes, but this is his first writing credit. He is known for writing Fortress, Stargate, and Jag, but he only has 12 writing credits because what he actually does most of the time is not writing himself, but he is a professor at Tisch School of Arts at NYU, and he is the department chair for dramatic writing.
Lovely.
Yeah, which I mean, this did feel very like cinematic, dramatic more than sci-fi. So like I totally see that.
For sure.
The guest star that we're going to talk about is named Bonnie Bartlett. And before I even started doing my research, I just looked at the picture on IMDb, the like the square that shows like what the episode is, and I go, "Oh my gosh, Mr. Feeney's wife is in this episode."
Whose wife?
What?
You
What was
cut
it?
out. Whose
Oh,
wife?
Mr. Feeney's wife.
Feeny. Feeny. I could not hear what you.
Got it. Yes. Because in Boy Meets World, Bonnie Bartlett plays Mr. Feeney's wife, but that's because in real life, she is William Daniels' wife.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, her and William Daniels got married in 1951, and they are still married. They're both still alive and kicking. She's 93 and he's 95.
Ugh,
They had three children together. Their first one did unfortunately die very, very young, like I think only lived like a year. And the other two are adopted. Um, but she took off, she stopped acting in the 70s to be a stay-at-home mom with the kids and then like got back into it in the 80s. And then in the 80s, she was in Saint Elsewhere with William Daniels, where they once again played husband and wife and won Emmys for their characters on the same night. And
ugh,
they were the only the second ever married couple to win Emmys in the same year.
love that. Who's the
Yeah.
first?
The first was in 1965, and my dad told me the name of the show that they were on, and I don't remember what it was, but it was people that I like had vaguely heard of having existed, but I didn't know who they were because I didn't really watch daytime television in the 60s.
Right. That makes sense. Yep. Yep.
Um, um, yeah, no. Oh, she was also the things that she was known for. She was in the movie V for Vendetta, and she was in the movie Twins.
With Robert De Niro and is it
Yeah,
no, and
you got it. Isn't that Arnold Schwarzenegger's in that
yeah.
movie? Yeah.
I was like, who was the other one?
Yes. Is it Robert De Niro as his
I think
twin?
so.
I think so. For some reason, I always just assumed it was Robert De Niro and Danny DeVito because that's like the two most opposite adult humans that could pretend to be
Did I say
twins.
Robert De Niro?
Yes.
I meant Danny DeVito. It's
Oh, okay.
Danny
No.
DeVito
Okay.
and
So it
Arnold
is. It's
Schwarzenegger.
It's Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito because they're the two most like opposite sized human
Right.
beings to ever exist.
I don't know why I said Robert De Niro.
I think like Danny DeVito is the same size as Arnold Schwarzenegger's like hack width. Like his height is the same as Arnold is across.
Yes, I think that is correct.
Yeah, so that is our prep for this episode. Um we start the episode on a scene that I got excited because the close-up was just of a giant spider for some reason. Like they were outside walking through the forest and the scene literally just starts with a close-up on a giant spider and I was like, yeah.
Yeah,
Um
spiders.
just me. But as they're walking, once again, Daniel does not want to leave at all because he somehow thinks that they can explore the entirety of a planet at once,
Mhm.
which, okay, unrelated to the episode, but a thought I just had when this was happening. If, say, you were an alien and you came into a portal onto Earth, how would you even remotely explore or understand the entirety of Earth? Like, you know what I mean? Like these people are going onto these planets and they're like, we know all the cultures on all the planets, but like,
How?
what if what if the Stargate was in a rural village in North Vietnam? You're gonna tell me you know everything about the entirety of Earth from that experience?
Maybe aliens are smarter than us and have better technology, so they like land and then there's like expand, learn everything, and they bring it all in, and then they get back to the Stargate and leave.
Well, clearly they are smarter about it than Daniel and Jack, but that's
And yeah, fair.
I don't know. I just like that was the thought I had. I was like, we keep talking about these alien civilizations, like we have any idea, but like think about how many civilizations are on Earth. And like, what if you landed in a village in Malawi? You wouldn't even have a concept of the technology that Earth is capable of.
No, people. I mean, people on Earth don't know about everything on Earth.
That's
So
true. Like, but like I think about it because so I just the one of the books that I taught my kids for summer reading is The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. Um,
hmm,
And so I've been like rereading it. And 20 years ago, in a village in Malawi, one house in the whole village had any access to electricity.
That's insane.
So, like, if 1998 you had landed in a village in Malawi, you wouldn't know electricity existed, let alone like computers.
Mhm.
Google was invented in 1998. This is mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
But anyway, Daniel
Aliens are
was
smarter.
like,
They have better technology than we do.
Daniel's like, we can't just leave because we didn't find anything yet. We're only like a couple miles away from the gate. Like, there still could be things on this planet. Like, you don't know, which is correct. Doesn't necessarily mean I think they should continue to mindlessly wander said planet, but like, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
So Jack starts to fight him when all of a sudden this man runs up out of the woods and is like, Taldar will find us. It's all around us. You have to escape. We can't be found. And they are like, okay, let's go. Which I get why they reacted that way, but who knows? Because then there's this crazy wind and this flashing lights, and they get transported into like this room that is just a blue light. And they're like, you are now prisoners.
It's like an alien abduction, but like
Yeah.
for realsies on here. It's not just Stargate. It's not just seeing aliens. They got like white light abducted. I was very excited about that.
Love it. But so they're like, we're and then as they're standing there being told that they've been kidnapped or that they are being arrested and they're prisoners, then does Daniel remember, oh, Taldar means justice.
Good timing, Daniel.
Yeah,
Good
Daniel's timing for memory in this episode is impeccable.
timing the entire way through. Yes, yes.
Yeah. So the guy who was running away from them is apparently a murderer, and they were helping him. So they will now be sent to a prison planet.
And
Is
we
that
never found out about this murder, did we?
no, we know nothing about the
They
murder
just
at
were
all.
like, he murdered people. Now you're in jail. It's like,
And they were like, first of all, you were trespassing on our planet. Second of all, you abetted a murderer.
they
And
walked over.
they were like, we did what? Literally, no. And they
They
were like,
literally walked like 3 feet with this guy. Like,
yeah,
trespassing, fine. They did.
yeah.
But
It was a very black and white picture of justice.
yes.
Um, so they pop out of the gate on this weird tree prison planet, and
Dante.
Dante, yes. And then just standing in front of the gate are just like smoking, smoldering, burning feet. And I was like, oh, that's cute. That's definitely one way to do things.
Mhm.
Um,
I have a question about Hidante.
yeah.
That you may or may not have the answer to. Is this land, was it created to be a prison, or was it a land that like got used up and then people, it became empty, so they turned it into a prison? Or do
Um,
you know?
they say in the episode that it used to have life on it and then it didn't anymore, so they just left people there. Yeah.
Gotcha. I missed one.
Okay. Um, so then because there's new people there and one of them is a lady and this is a prison colony, immediately Sam gets attacked. Like
Yes.
immediately. And that's why we don't have co-ed prisons. Um, and this old lady appears. Her name is Linnea, and she is like, stop. Absolutely not. She's under my protection. Don't touch her.
Mhm.
And somehow they all listen. And Sam's like, I could have taken care of myself. And Linnea basically is like, here's the thing, men suck.
Yes.
She doesn't say it quite like that, but
Basically though.
she's like, I know what it's like to be a woman in a prison planet.
Mm-hmm.
And Sam's like, okay. Um, and so they find out that they're apparently stuck here for life. Um, there's no DHD, no real appearance of electricity in any way, shape, or form. And then Daniel starts geeking out about Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Which is
which,
always the perfect timing while you're stuck on a planet trying to figure out how you're gonna get home.
right, like, here's the thing. Prison colony, Australia, I get it. I'm a history
Same.
nerd too. I can tell you everything about Australia being a prison colony and how awful it was. But like, is that the time?
Right.
Is that the time?
It feels like it's not. And while I don't see any dangerous animals, there are dangerous people. So, like, maybe.
And also, it just felt like unnecessary in terms of not only was it just not necessary for Daniel to be a weirdo,
Right.
it didn't add anything to the story. It didn't add anything to Daniel's character. It was just like we've got an extra like minute or so that we didn't have dialogue for, so we're just gonna say shit. It was a little weak.
Yeah, it was.
Um, and then this guy like tries to give them a dead body, and they were like, no. So then they like try to he takes the jewelry off of the dead body and it's like here, and they're like, no. And I was like, the people of Hadante are just like weird, which is like not entirely surprising because they live on a prison colony. Um, and then we do have one of my favorite, like, just Jack moments where Jack's like, hey, buddy, you're in prison. You can't show weakness in
Yeah.
prison. Yeah. And makes Daniel take his glasses off. But the other thing that happened that it makes me think of, because this is not the first time that we've had an episode where Daniel just didn't have his glasses on for the whole episode. And my question is, can he see? Like,
So I had that same question. I was
like
like, how
the
blind is
number of times that Daniel just exists without his glasses. And to be fair, I also will just do things without my glasses as if I don't wear glasses, like including just driving, which I shouldn't do, but I like will be like, oh, I didn't put my contacts in this morning and I'll just drive. So like I am Daniel, but
I
my
yeah,
prescription is like plus 0.75. Like it's not even a full number off. So I don't even technically need glasses except for that I my eyes get strained because of astigmatism, so they're tired if I don't wear glasses. What is Daniel's prescription?
I'm gonna guess that it's not my prescription because if I don't wear glasses, I just like fall over and run into things. I can't see like 3 feet in front of my face. But mine's like negative 5 point something in both eyes with astigmatism. So like I don't see
Yeah.
without contacts or
Yeah.
glasses.
Yeah, no, I don't have 20/20 vision. I have like 20 like 19.2. Like it's not
Right.
it's not even.
I have like 10 or something, I don't know. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
Daniel, so he's gotta be all right.
Yeah, but I just was like, are we just ever gonna address the fact that like Daniel's
No,
glasses are a fashion accessory?
no, we are absolutely not.
Cool. Um, then we go cut back to real life, where SG3 is returning to command because they went out searching for SG1 and they just cannot find them. Good times.
Very promising.
So then we go back to Hadante and Sam and Jack are meeting with Linnea to try to figure out what is going on here. And Linnea is like super freaking smart and like crazy, crazy smart, and she's like in charge of them because she's intelligent, and like that's amazing that like all these crazy dumb men are like, yes, you elderly woman, we will listen to you. Um, so and she tells them that like there are some people who believe that they can ride the wave when the gate opens and that wave pops out and like gets sent somewhere, and that's how people keep dying.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how you die.
My question is, these people, when the gate opens, they stand in front of the wave. Okay, that doesn't work. But the gate doesn't close immediately. Why don't they just pop back out of it?
But okay, so my thing is it's going one way. So if they were to hop back, oh, you're saying when they hop in, it doesn't close immediately, they should hop out.
No, I'm saying like when the gate opens and new people are being sent there and the gate is open, like when they ride the wave, why are they bothering to ride the wave? Why don't they just like run in the gate as soon as it's stable?
Because doesn't it only go one way? And so, like, if they jump back in, it's closed on the other end. So they're stuck there, like the gold that were stuck there that one time in the beginning.
Well, but that only works on Earth because there's an iris that can close on the gate and make it not open. If the portal is open on both sides, it's a wormhole. So it like will you can go both directions in it. Granted, probably if they did try that, they would just end up back where the Taldor are and then they would
Right.
be sent back. So it like wouldn't really matter.
Yeah, right.
They'd probably die either way. But like I was just like the logic of their escape plan isn't.
No, it's not solid by any means.
But then she says some real powerful stuff that I actually like kind of dug. She
Mm-hmm.
was like, there are only two ways to lead, with fear and with hope.
I did
And
like that.
and in this like reality that we're living in and this planet, there's fear everywhere. So if they have hope when they stand in front of this gate, who am I to take that away from them?
Right.
And I get it, and I love that concept, and I get like the morality of being like, well, they're killing themselves, so like you should argue with them, but at the same time, if there is no escape and you're stuck on this planet forever and your only options are brutal, vicious, quick death or like slow, painful other death,
Yeah.
how is it any morally worse to choose which death that they have to
I
have?
mean, it's the same argument you have for people who believe in heaven and not. Like, we have somewhere we're going. We have that hope. Everyone's going to die. But, Christians have that hope that they're going to heaven, and
Right,
others have that.
exactly.
And so, like, they don't have that same hope. And I think
Yeah,
that's the parallel argument.
right.
So, you got to have hope.
Um,
You don't have
so
to
they're
believe heaven, say, but, believe
yeah,
something is out there.
yeah. They're like, we can get the gate to work on our side and like choose where it's going instead of just having it open, but like we need power. And she's like, well, then we have something that each other needs,
Yes.
which is probably the first glance at the fact that she's actually real sketchy.
First red flag.
Right. Um, so then we go back to base. SG-3 tells Hammond that Taldor gave them all of SG-1's weapons and transmitting and radio and all that stuff and sent them home and was like, yeah, they're in prison and then you're never going to see them again. But here's their stuff.
But
Oh,
I think you cut out for a second.
oh. No, I said they basically were like, here, they're in prison. You're never going to see them again. But here's the other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I did
Uh,
ask while we were still with Linnea. She's talking
mm.
about Sam's talking about how it's cold fusion that she's doing.
Oh no, sorry. This is a quick scene in between because then my
Okay,
next note is about the cold fusion. Yes.
come back to that for me then.
Perfect. Yeah, no. So there's just this quick scene where they have all the weapons at base, and SG-3 is like,
Yes.
yep, they're in prison. Cool. Then we go back to Hadante. And Linnea is showing them the power that she has, and Sam is having an absolute geek out because she's doing cold fusion.
So I do not know what that means. Cold fusion, would it actually like fix pollution?
Yes,
What can you explain cold fusion to us?
not really.
Okay.
No, like I know what it is in the sense that like it is a basically it is an organic like
Cleanser?
power source. It's basically like creating energy organically, and so like if cold fusion is done correctly and stably, it's like a more natural power source than like coal or wind or water or nuclear, because it's a subatomic energy. So it would save pollution in the sense that it would like cut back on all the other emissions that we have.
So like on a basic level, it's almost comparative to like plants create oxygen. And so it's all
Yes.
clean that we're breathing. And so this cold fusion would create energy. That's like all.
Yeah, it's subatomic energy that like I don't have even remotely enough science to knowledge to actually understand, but I watch sci-fi enough to know that much of
Man, we learned so much on this podcast. We are
it.
educational.
Yeah, but so Sam starts geeking out about cold fusion and like how they're gonna save planet Earth if this stuff really works. And we keep saying that we're going to all these planets and we're learning all this stuff, and none of it's actually useful for the government. But
This
if
one
anything,
is.
it could actually be useful for the government and not in a war weapon kind of way.
Man, it'd be great if they actually figured this out 25 years ago.
Right. Um, And so she starts to like nerd out and explain everything about the gate to Linnea, and Jack is like, no. He's like, so this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna give us information, and we'll take you home with us. And if it all works out, we'll give you the information.
Right.
That's how that deal works. And then we get a flash to Teal just absolutely choking a guy out for no. And I was like,
You gotta stake your stand. You gotta make sure they know who's in charge.
and he's like, this man challenged me, so now I kill him.
Although it
Dude,
did feel very Darth Vader-y to me.
it did. It made me feel things
What kind of things? Good things or bad things?
that depends entirely on your definition.
I see. I see. I just felt like he was Darth Vader in that moment. I didn't have a lot of other feelings. But I did feel like he had to make his claim.
Yeah. Oh no, but like a strong, attractive man choking someone, I'm not complaining at all.
Oh, we know. We know.
I ways I know my boyfriend doesn't listen to my podcast. He asked me this week how many people know about my choking fetish. And I was like,
Hmm.
the entirety of the internet.
All of the internet wins. Or Dan. Bless his heart.
Oh, my sweet, sweet love. Anyway, Jack and Sam return to Teal'c and Daniel and break up this choke fest. And Daniel starts nerding out with a very small piece of information that gets very brushed over in this episode, but I took big note of because it is rather important, I think, for the lore of the show.
I also took a big note here. Please continue.
Because the everything in this area with the gate and all of the amount of time that this land has been here and been able to fall apart proves that the Stargates by far predate human societies.
He said this land had been there for 15,000 years. I don't know how he came up with that number so quickly
Yeah.
or how he knew 15,000 years,
Yeah.
but that's wild.
That is wild, especially if you look at the fact that we don't have any like written records of human civilizations that are more than like 4,000 years
Right.
old.
Yeah.
Like maybe if we're really, really stretching some of the BC years into like
Mhm.
early caveman stuff, we're thinking like maybe 6, 7,000.
Max.
So this has been here 15,000 years, which is like twice as long as humans have been doing things on Earth, which means definitely not us who made the Stargates, which like we kind of already knew, but like,
Right.
yeah. Um, and they were like, okay, well, this is the plan. This is what Linnea is gonna do for us, blah, blah, blah. And Daniel's like, bro, I don't trust this. And they were like, oh man, like, why? And he's like, those people, when they stopped because she walked in, that was not respect in their eyes. That was fear. They are terrified of her.
Daniel
And
is very smart this episode at the wrong times.
correct. Um, and Jack is like, clearly, you've never been to prison. And Daniel's like, why have you?
It's like, what? When did Jack go to prison?
Oh, Jack
Did we
definitely was
know
in
that?
Jack was in a military prison.
Did we know that?
I don't I think yes. When he tells the story about how long he was overseas and then he came back and he was all messed up and like when he and Sarah started to fall apart, pretty confident he was in a like not a US military prison, like a
Mhm.
POW prison.
That is a very long time ago that we talked about that.
Correct.
So I had not remembered that.
That's
Got
fine. I think it's like, yeah, I think it's like season one, episode like 4 or 5. Like he vaguely mentions it. We don't have details about it. Um,
I will say I
but
wasn't overly surprised that he had been in prison. I just didn't remember us talking about it.
yeah, no. The number of times that Daniel said things in this episode, and I had to pause it because I was laughing so hard. And I was like, he's so stupid. And my mom goes, I'm pretty sure the look on your face right now is exactly the look Jack's gonna give him. I go, yeah, but with less amusement.
Right.
Yeah, so Jack was like, of course I've been to prison.
Because why
Because
not?
of course he has.
Right.
Um, so they're like, okay, this is the plan, but like even if we figure this out, we don't have our transmitters, which means the iris will be closed, so we can't dial back to Earth. We will be trapped in the gate and die. Um, so we got to figure it out. They're like, you, Daniel, you know all the gate addresses. Figure it out. Pick one. Um, then the gate starts to open and they all freak out because they're like, what is going on? But it's just the daily porridge slop drop off.
Which looks like wet cement.
It did, in fact, look like wet cement, but
It
also
poured how they pour wet cement.
yeah. Have you ever watched Big Brother, the
Yes. I watched
reality
the
show?
first season.
Okay, well, that was a long time. On
Yes.
Big Brother, they do this thing where they have haves and have-nots, and the people who are haves can do everything like in the house normal. People who are have-nots sleep in the have-not room, which is like always really messed up. Like this season, there are no beds, just pool floaties, but like no pool. Um, and like one year, it was like dentist chairs was like the beds in that room and like
They
just
didn't
like to
have that season.
just to make your my life like less comfortable. You're a have not. You're
It's
not
like the
on
wave.
and you also don't get to eat food. You just eat slop, Big Brother slop. And 110% whatever they just poured down this rule is the same thing that they feed these people in the Big Brother house. 100%.
That makes me think of the wave experiment.
Well, probably. I mean, Big Brother is based on doing weird psychology experiments to people. You find out awful things about
Makes
everyone in
sense.
that house.
Well, the first season wasn't that tragic. Um,
That's fair.
there were no have-nots.
No, we're on season 24,
Yeah,
and for something to be running for 24 seasons, it has to get more intense.
right.
Yeah. So we go back to the gate command where SG9, which I only realized that this major is SG9 because they say it later. I didn't know who he was. He is being a whole kind of jerk. And he's like, yeah, like diplomatic relations. We want to keep a relationship with them. They say they're not going to them go. So we should probably just not let them go.
You don't
And
even know who this
Hammond
is.
and
SG9?
Hammond's like, what? And and our captain for SG3 is like, I will go back and get them tomorrow. Like, what do you need me to do? And Hammond's like, no, you have a mission that you're already scheduled for. You're gonna go on your mission. I'm gonna figure this out. And he's like, I am gonna go get them myself.
I said, Hammond's going through the Stargate.
Yes. Um, so we go back to Hadante and Sam is like, maybe Daniel's a little bit right. I need to figure out what Linnea's crime was. So goes, and Linnea's like, you're here to figure out why I'm here. And Sam's like, yeah, kind of. What's up? And she's like, there was this plague and it killed a lot of people. And I tried to end it, but the medicine I made did the opposite, unfortunately, and it killed thousands of people. And I take full responsibility for all their deaths.
I bet
And
it was the bubonic plague.
interesting. That would work if the Taldor Island states were even remotely, or
You don't know these people could
no, but
try.
it could be like, it would be exactly that, but could be similar.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, so she's like, listen, I agree to your plan. I will take you if you take me. I'll help you if you take me, but like just so you know, like that the way you've messed up the power balance here in this prison, and if this doesn't work, you probably will die because these people are going to challenge you, and like it's not going to work. Then we go back to SGC where Hammond is getting walking through the gate for the first time ever. And
I really like that scene where you
I
like
love this
get
scene.
behind Hannah.
And the major is like, yo, like you've never been through the gate before. Like, let me give you some advice. Like starts talking about breathing, and Hammond's just like, I can figure it out. And then he like goes to walk through the gate, and he's just like, oh, the things I do for these people. He knows SG1 is like when you are a teacher and you have those kids that you absolutely want to fail on every project because they just do not listen to a damn word you say, but like you would also cut off your finger if they needed it.
Right. Mhm.
Um, so we go back and the gate is about to open because they're gonna bring some new prisoners in, and all these people run to ride the wave, and Daniel is like, you're gonna die. And Sam's like, yeah, like that's the thing that they do here. They're just gonna kill themselves. Like, what are we supposed to do about it? And Daniel's like, no. And like can't help himself and like has to save them from dying.
Or try.
Um, or at least try. It doesn't work, they die.
He is not
Um,
successful.
but then Vishnor, who is the big brute
Mhm.
force in charge of the prison in terms of physical stuff, tries to fight Daniel because he stopped these people or tried to stop these people. And Daniel is losing this fight.
Right. Because he is not a very big person.
No. And Linnea just like whips out a weird hand device that absolutely looks like it belongs to the Goa'uld.
Mhm.
And I was like, damn it, I was right. Not a good guy.
Not a good guy. Yeah.
General Hammond, back to him, he's with the Taldor people like in the sentencing room, and he's like, give me my people, and they're like, are you taking responsibility for them? And he's like, yeah, and they're like, did you order them to help a murder? And he's like, well, no. And they're like, well, then your guilt by proxy not gonna work, go home.
SG9 guy's like, no, no, he's not taking responsibility for anything. No, don't take him. He's like, no, take me. No, please. It's like,
And Hammond's like, if I don't get my people back, you are declaring war. And they're
mhm.
like, okay, go for it.
Okay, bye.
See ya. We go back to Hadante, where and the man who just came through the gate while all of these this giant fight was going out, um, is blind, and he's telling them what he did and why he's in prison. And Linnea gives him a medicine that takes his blindness away, and he sees her, and he absolutely freaks the fuck out.
So I didn't understand. I was like, he just panicked because his sight was healed and he's never
Oh
seen that before.
no. No, no, no. I definitely caught the way he looked at her, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I thought it was just because she had this power that other people didn't have. I didn't realize there was more to it than that at the
Yeah.
time. Obviously, I know now.
Correct. Um, then Daniel awakens from his unconscious state and once again, with the impeccable timing, remembers what planet SG3's mission is going to be to so that they have a destination where transmitters will be available.
Yes. Yes. Excellent timing, Daniel. Yet again.
Then it is time for the food. They realize that the food delivery comes at the same time every day, which means that they can plan their escape based on when people will be distracted by eating food.
Mm-hmm.
And so the food delivery comes and all the slop pours in, and then everyone's just awkwardly standing there. And they're like, what's going on? And they explain to Daniel that he has to serve lunch because he is the new prison alpha because he supposedly killed Vishnor.
Yeah.
Um, so then everybody's eating. SG1 and Linnea like get their stuff together. They wrap these roots around the gate and they make the gate run. But Simeon, the former blind man, is watching them. And then when it works, and Simeon runs through and follows them, and everybody else tries to, but the gate closes.
Thank God Jews put it aside.
Do you imagine?
It's not great, but it could be worse.
Oh, yeah. So they get there, Hammond sends them all to the infirmary. He's like talking to Linnea and she's like, no, like I get it. I would do the same thing. Like you guys have to be careful, whatever. She's playing nice very well. Um, I also blame the fact that Janet was not the one working in the infirmary because Janet would have seen through this.
Yeah, I was like, who is this person that's not Jake?
So Janet's replacement is doing the stuff in the infirmary. Not really replacement. Janet will be back. There's more than one doctor who works in the space. I just only
Sure,
like.
sure.
Um, but also, Harrison wasn't the one working the gate command either.
No,
So
we have a whole new
Harriman, not
cast.
Harrison. Harriman. Yeah, no. So Fraser and Harriman were both not there, and honestly, I blame that for why the base fell apart.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
so they're in the infirmary. Linnea is still wowing Sam with her science knowledge, and she's like, "Oh, like, can I give you this thing? Like, you guys have a way to show these atoms and stuff. Like, can I show you?" And Sam's like, "Yeah," and she like lets them use the computer, lets Linnea use the computer, and then she does some weird stuff on the computer, and then she knocks Sam and the doctor out.
Yep. Sure
And
enough.
then SG3 returns and they're like, "Oh, yeah, by the way, this guy followed you off the planet." And Simeon's like, "Yeah, I had to because you guys brought the destroyer of worlds back with you."
The destroyer of they could have brought anyone back from prison, and they bring the destroyer of worlds.
And they're like, what do you mean by that exactly?" And Simeon's like, "Here's the thing. That plague that she told you guys about, yeah, she started that. She is trying to kill quite literally everyone. She's not good."
So
And then
I blame SG1 for COVID. I think that is what has happened now.
fantastic.
Yes.
But then while on the computer with everyone else passed out, Linnea erased all of the codes
Mm-hmm.
and downloaded all of the information about all of the gate destinations, and then used the gate and crashed the entire Stargate command computer system.
Great. Good. Yes.
Goodbye.
Yep.
And that's where we end.
That's the end. The destroyer of the worlds going off into the worlds. Oh, if we don't pick up next
With a
episode,
computer simulated model of the
right,
atoms that she used to destroy worlds.
right. So if we don't pick up here, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna be real mad, or at least hear enough. Like I need to know we're getting the computers at least back online.
Oh, you mean with that? I was like, I'm gonna be real with you. We're not gonna pick up with the Linnea story.
No. That's fine. I figured, but like we gotta
But
like fix
like
things before these book.
getting the base back online
Right.
is, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we need to not just like skip that. I feel like.
That would be ideal, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. So that's my hope and dream.
Um, who would you like to punch?
Sorry, I just spilled coffee. It's fine. Um, SG1, all of them for bringing back the destroyer of the worlds.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. I'm also gonna just like in a much less aggressive way, in a much less world destroying way. I'm gonna punch that guy from SG9 for
Mm-hmm.
just like being a dick.
Yeah, fair.
Um, who is your MVP? I already know your answer.
Who do you think it is?
It's gonna be Simeon.
No,
Really?
no, it's
Is it
him.
General Hammond for going through the gate?
Yes. Because he's always there to protect his team.
That's true.
He's such a good general.
True, which means that is gives me the ability to choose Simeon for being the only one who's like,
BT
this
dubs.
woman is like a literal psychopath.
Yes. Yes. Um,
There's
I
that.
have, I have a question that you
Please
can
ask your
answer.
question.
Do you happen to know when they were renewed for season 3?
I don't off
Because
the
I
top of my
wonder
head.
if this is meant to be introduced as a new storyline because they haven't completely finished Apophis.
They
And
have not.
Linnea, and we have that other one that I never remember their name that we saw for like half a second. The other gold. So like they don't feel like they're kind of trying to wrap it up. So I wonder if they knew before
Um,
two came out.
no.
Oh no, because they filmed it all at one time.
Yes, I was gonna say season 1 and 2
Hmm.
were all done together.
Well, that's a good choice
Um,
then.
so that's not necessarily anything to do with that. I'm trying to see if um, I can't, it's not readily available on Wikipedia, so I have to like do some actual research. So I will try to answer that
Got it.
at a time, but I cannot do
Yes.
it just quickly.
No worries. No worries. Do you have
So,
some trivia for us?
oh, that's the other thing I need my phone for because I never write the trivia. Well, because the other thing is, I'll be real, I watched this episode. I started it at like 9:30, 10 o'clock last night, and it does not take me a short amount of time to watch these episodes because I have to pause every 5 minutes to like write things.
Right, right.
So, okay. General Hammond makes his first trip to the Stargate in this episode.
Yes, correct.
Um, Mark Axon, who played Vishnor,
Hmm.
later provides the voice of the main villain, to kill, in the non-canon animated series Stargate Infinity. Fun fact, the animated series is not canon.
Good to
You
know.
Atlantis and Universe are both canon. The animated series was just for fun.
Got it. Got it.
Um, Daniel references Botany Bay, stating the British sent convicts to Australia, completely skipping over the fact that it only happened because they could no longer send convicts to the Chesapeake colonies of Maryland and Virginia, and the French also had a penal colony in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Australia becoming a penal colony only happened because of the American Revolution.
Right.
We were like, no, thank you.
Yeah. We've got enough prisoners here. You can take the rest.
But yeah, America was founded by rebels and prisoners.
Correct.
And you wonder why we're not stable.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine.
It's, it's great. But yeah, so that was an episode that really wasn't a bad episode in any way, shape, or form, but just kind of felt kind of off track for where we've been for this season.
Correct.
And it's hard because like I know we had the 3-part thing. So we had the last and the 3-part thing, and actually the two before the one before the 3-part one was also still kind of Gould centric. So we had those three, and then so the end of the 3-part and the second one. So we've had 5 episodes in a row that have all actually kind of like led on the same journey.
Hmm.
And then we got this.
Right. Right.
So I get why it was rated so low.
Yeah.
I definitely like didn't hate it, and I love Bonnie Bartlett.
I do love Bonnie Bartlett. And it felt like, I mean, like you had talked about, it did feel more cinematic. It felt kind of like it had a bit of a spooky element to it in the beginning. I
Yeah,
was like, oh, we get a little extra horror this week.
yeah. It
Um,
was it was not bad. It just was a weird. It was jarring after
right.
actually feeling like we had finally got a hang of the show.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like we can come out of that still. I wasn't as mad about it as I was last
Oh
season.
yeah, no.
I think we're still okay. I'll let you know next week.
Now, yeah, I was saying now if next week's episode has nothing to do with Linnea or the Gould, then we start to get angry.
Then we have problems, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll be calling SG1 and reporting a complaint.
perfect. I love it.
Yes.
If you have any complaints to report, you can send them to SG1 or to us. You can email us at deathandaliens@gmail.com. You can follow us on all of the social medias at Daphne Aliens. You can follow me on all of the social media at EMKAY_superstar.
You can follow me at CECloud13. And I also want to say, we see you're watching us on YouTube. We know you're listening. So, like, subscribe maybe to our channel and, like, maybe give us a rating on one of the listening platforms. That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
because right now 70% of our YouTube viewership is not subscribers. So
Right, which
like,
is quite a few, quite a lot.
mhm. So like just follow, subscribe, love us.
And then you don't have to hunt us down. We're just there for you. We just pop up when it's time.
So with that we will see you guys on Thriller Thursday.
See ya.
Bye.